What is a malignant narcissist? That's exactly what I'm going to be talking about in this video today. What is malignant narcissism versus what might be called typical narcissism? Signs of this, what can cause this, all that kind of stuff I'm going to be talking about, of course, how you handle it right here in this video. Most research calls malignant narcissism what happens when a person has narcissistic personality disorder and features of other personality disorders as well. They might display signs of borderline personality disorder, histrionic, and so on. Most of the time, however, malignant narcissism is classified as a person having narcissistic personality disorder, NPD, and antisocial personality disorder. Malignant narcissism isn't an actual diagnosis. Some people, for who knows what reason, perhaps not enough to do, I guess, feel the need to divide narcissism into 85 different categories, and my stance on this has been the same for 4 years now, and it remains the same. Call it malignant narcissism, covert, somatic, overt, pathological narcissism. It is narcissism, plain and very simple. We don't need our PhD on all of this. We need to know a little bit about what we're dealing with and then, of course, how to handle it. The over-explanation of things can often make it confusing, I think. However, malignant narcissism just isn't something I've talked about before on this channel. I keep hearing more and more about it, so I want to discuss it. So the malignant narcissist can have antisocial signs, things like lack of remorse for things that harm other people, impulsiveness and quick decision-making, deceiving others for pleasure, inability to function properly, reckless behavior. Unfortunately, these all sound like typical narcissism, as they lack empathy, they don't care who they hurt, they act out of order, and so on. A lot of these disorders have so many overlapping signs that, again, I really feel it does the community a disservice to dig in so deeply. However, there are some differences, and I think those are really important. A narcissist needs to be praised and have their ego boosted. They have a lot of envy and jealousy. They have a lot of delusions and fantasies about being rich and powerful and successful. So there are some differences. So let's put all of this together and talk about what an actual malignant narcissist can look like. For example, they don't trust anybody. There's a lot of paranoia. They disregard and often minimize how others feel and what people think and what they need. They're highly manipulative and employ a wide variety of tricks to make all of that work. They're often so highly sensitive to any form of being critiqued that they can seek revenge on those who do so, and they want revenge against anyone who has somehow wronged them in a way. They need power and can fantasize about having power, money, fame, success, and so on. If you'd like to talk one-on-one about what you're going through or what you've gone through in a toxic relationship with a narcissist, you can email BookAChatWithJess@gmail.com to set up private chats with me. Now, that being said, here are some top signs of malignant narcissism. Everything is offensive. Everything, even the most lighthearted of all jokes, is seen as an absolute personal attack, and you will be hearing about it from this person. Even things done to them with no intention, no malice whatsoever, is seen as the biggest slight, as you can imagine. Did you think that maybe you text them back, but you didn't? You'll get yourself chewed out for ignoring them and neglecting them, even though all you forgot to do was respond to their message. And there's so much wrong that you might feel that you just can't do anything right and you can't win for losing. It doesn't matter what you do. They enjoy you suffering. Malignant narcissists are particularly cruel, and this goes above and beyond the quote-unquote typical narcissist who more so worries about themselves, and your hurt and your pain is kind of like collateral damage. This person might even kind of revel in an awful time that you're having. These types of narcissists often enjoy things like public humiliation, spreading wild rumors, horrific smear campaigns, openly laughing at people, and being quite maculatory in nature. And this can all be done for nothing more than their own personal gain, sure, but a lot of the time with malignant narcissism, there's a bonus here because it hurts you and it bothers you. They're merciless. This is an upgrade on the narcissism scale. This person will step on the back of your neck to get a boost up. There's no level of low they won't stoop to, nothing they won't do to get their power, money, success. Perhaps they want to be feared, worshipped, whatever. A lack of empathy. This is present in antisocial personality disorder and typical narcissism. So now we're going to have double trouble here with this situation. It's possible, as always, that they can fake empathy at times to get what they want. I'm not even adding anything about manipulation to this list because do I really need to do that? Probably not. You never see a weakness. A malignant narcissist does not often reveal a weakness in the more so typical narcissistic fashion the way some of them might. Instead, these folks double down and instead lash out angrily or shut down completely. Just stop and walk away from the conversation, walk out. And if you push somebody like this too far, it's actually not uncommon that somebody who behaves like this can just end the entire relationship, discard you right there on site, and keep on moving as fast as they can. Bridge burning. As you can imagine, the friends list gets shorter and shorter. The enemies list gets longer and longer. Everyone's wronged them. Everyone's crazy. Everyone needs help. Grudge holdiness. These people never let shit go. And when you have held on to something longer than me, and I think you need to let something go, that is seriously saying something. Not only does the grudge holding practically last forever, they are so deeply offended by the tiniest little things. And now that becomes fuel for them to do some kind of super creepy ultimate revenge that they feel they need to get on you. The malignant narcissist just straight up uses, abuses, and loses. Malignant narcs can discard people, it seems, a lot faster than a typical narcissist who might try to hang on a little bit more to their sources of supply. They can just really throw somebody out after the purpose has been served. And I feel more typical narcissism, they hang on a little bit, they play more games, they do more manipulation. And I think it's because more typical narcissism, they need so much more admiration and attention. You'll notice a revolving door of people in a narcissist's life, regardless of the type of narcissism it is. So many people are making a quick exit as new people are being sucked in and groomed and love-bombed and the like. It's truly hard to know what exactly causes all of this, so I'm going to list off some ideas from, frankly, much smarter people and why they believe all of this happens. So some of the reasons are abuse or neglect as a child. Neglect is a form of abuse. Being held to completely unrealistic expectations, and typically by their parents or guardians. A lack of self-awareness. Being bullied or rejected when they're younger. Having low self-esteem. Of course, with some of this, there's a genetic predisposition to get some of these things, just like mental disorders. Speaking of that, mental disorders is also on the list. Focusing on power, control, status, success, things like that. Learning that failure is unacceptable as a child. Learning that mistakes are unacceptable as a child. There are more, but we kind of get where this is going. As far as dealing with someone like this, obviously, you can break up. You can leave, begin gray rocking, or go no contact. It really is as simple as that as far as that goes. This is something ingrained in their brain from a long-ass time ago, long before they knew you really even existed in a lot of cases, and a couple of couples therapy sessions are not going to fix this. It is time to leave. Go. You really need to go. I say this at, I know, the end of every video, and I sound like a broken record, but nothing fixes this. Nothing changes this. And even if something did, they have to do this work. There's nothing that we can do. You can't love this person enough. You can't try to fill the void that they have enough. It's something they have to do themselves. If you can't just up and leave, which not everybody can, and that is completely understandable, there are still some things you can do if you're in a situation where you can't just pack your shit and go, or you can't toss them out on their ass. Always avoid being vulnerable with someone who loves to hurt you and use your emotions against you. Again, I refer to gray rock. It's a technique for when you can't just walk away from someone narcissistic. Understand, as I just mentioned a moment ago, this has nothing to do with you. These are their issues. It's a them problem, not a you problem. There isn't anything you can do. You have to accept that. We can't love these people into being healthy. We can't fix them. We can't do anything. You can do things like try to figure out what sets them off, what triggers them, and naturally avoid those things. We all know what their triggers are. We all know what their hot button topics are that we really shouldn't mention anyway because they get very upset. And honestly, I know it sounds bad. It sounds like you're just backing down and not calling them out and not defending yourself. But honestly, in this case, all you're doing is just really trying to avoid the circular conversations, the word salad, and all of the bullshit. On the flip side, to a certain degree, let them talk. Sometimes that works. Feed their validation, feed all these needs they have to use you to make them happy, do all this stuff. Be supportive. Sometimes if you just let a, forgive me, self-absorbed loser just kind of ramble on, they'll leave you alone. If they're venting to you and they're talking to you about something going on with them, they're having a shitty day, whatever, if they're venting to you, sometimes it kind of becomes, hey, at least it's not at you. At least it's just to you. I hope this was helpful for you. Please subscribe for more videos. Have a great day, survivor, and take care of yourself.